the member for Casey.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Like all Australians, I looked on in horror at the situation unfolding in Afghanistan a year ago, with 4,100 people evacuated on 32 flights from Kabul. Anyone who saw the mobile phone footage of people holding onto planes as they took off, or the crowds at the airport gates, will never forget those images. And I don't think, Deputy Speaker, we can imagine the fear and desperation those people felt at that time to take those actions. The air evacuation in Kabul was one of the largest humanitarian airlift operations in Australia's history. The evacuation involved hundreds of Australian Defence Force personnel and government officials working together on the ground in Afghanistan, in Canberra and in the United Arab Emirates. And each and every deployed Australian soldier put their own lives on the line to save strangers. These soldiers saved people from another country, another language, another culture, another life. But these things did not matter, for our soldiers and those in Kabul shared one important thing: the innate human drive for freedom and safety. After the evacuation, I had the opportunity to have a deep conversation with a gentleman who was evacuated from Kabul. When I heard his story and saw his videos and those of others evacuated and what they'd had to endure to reach the airport, their determination and bravery is obvious. They were fighting for their lives, and in many cases there was no alternative. I saw a report from the commanding officer of the 1st Battalion, Royal Australian Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Scott Holmes, who said the efforts of his regiment resulted in getting more than 1,000 people out of the crowded airport choke points and onto military aircraft. We were over there to help those who had helped us significantly. The work was really rewarding, he said. The same soldiers formed a unique bond with Afghanistan refugees rescued when they were deployed to ensure the temporary camps used to house evacuees were well run. It was at these camps where soldiers realised there were some familiar faces. Private Buttrock had pulled several people to safety from a vast crowd in a canal at the perimeter of the airport. During a shift at one of the camps back at the Middle East base, Private Roljik saw some evacuees he had helped to safety, who were now healthy, rested and waiting for flights to Australia. They just came up to me, gave me a big hug and shook my hand, he said. Their stories also allow us to appreciate the amazing bravery of the soldiers of the 1st Battalion Royal Australian Regiment. The soldiers who were committed to ensuring these vulnerable, innocent men, women and children had every chance to escape and to live. These Australian heroes must be honoured at the highest level of our country, and for that battle honours must be awarded to the 1st Battalion Royal Australian Regiment. Not only must we honour these brave soldiers with battle honours, we need to ensure that we are continuing to support these soldiers with any mental health challenges they will face post the evacuation, particularly post their service. I've been fortunate to be a member of the Lilydale RSL and often spend time with local RSLs in Casey and hear their stories of their support of veterans. They do such valuable work supporting our veterans. They not only provide advocacy and access the services and support they need, but camaraderie, mateship and the opportunity for veterans to bond through shared experiences. It is vital that governments also continue to support our veterans and implement the findings of the Royal Commission. The war in Afghanistan has created a new generation of veterans, and we have a moral responsibility to learn the lessons of the past and ensure we are assisting them through any challenges they may face in the future. The last coalition government invested over $11.5 billion each year to support the wellbeing of around 340,000 veterans and their families, and it was great to see the announcement today from the new minister in regards to the Interim Royal Commission. So I join my colleagues to call upon the government to honour the 1st Battalion Royal Australian Regiment with the appropriate official public recognition of their extraordinary actions by awarding battle honours.
Hear, hear.